Welcome to the Sovereign Path. I'm fellow traveler Rebecca Bentley. Let's enter in. Welcome to episode 4 of the Sovereign Path. I'm your host, Rebecca Bentley, and today accompanying me is my husband again, Kevin Bentley.
How y'all doing?
So, first of all, before we get started on today's episode, I want to thank all of you who have been viewing each of our episodes and who have been tuning in. I am overwhelmed and I'm grateful for all the support and the love. It's not easy stepping out on faith uh, and tackling these new assignment that the Lord has given me on basically calling people back into relationship. Um, the governing reality of the sovereign path of all our paths is His presence. You cannot become sovereign. You cannot live in alignment with the sovereign one unless you learn how to abide with the sovereign one. It's the foundation of sovereignty. It's the ultimate standard to get into the image of the Lord. You have to learn and commit to abiding. And that is now going to gear me towards what today's episode is about.
Mm-hmm.
So today's episode came to me in prayer and sitting in His presence, sitting in His abiding. For those who you don't know, um, you can't. We always say you can't mimic another person's path.
Correct.
You have to build a personal relationship with the Lord. For me, that personal relationship of abiding is prayer at minimum at least 2 times a day. First thing in the morning, always, and typically before I go to bed at night, or sometime in the afternoon. I abide and sit in the Lord's presence. And I grew up in church. I went to church basically all my life growing up. I was under many pastors. I was under um, many bishops. I went in Bible study. I know the Bible and the Word very, very well. But for all my life, I felt like I was chasing rest. The Hebrews description of what rest is in the Bible, chasing it, reading the Bible, knew the character of God, knew what it said do. We should serve others. We should help others. We should be kind. We should be gentle. And even with trying to apply what the word said, it always felt like I was still trying to figure life out, that I couldn't find that perfect fit. The missing connection, the thing that I miss in going to church and doing all the things that people told me to do that a Christian should do, the thing that I was missing was relationship and abiding. I was imitating what other people do. I call it performance fruit. I was performing what I thought that other faith-based or religious people do or what I heard on TV, but I never committed to relationship. Um, so one day in prayer recently, because every episode of the Sovereign Path, what we try to do is seek God on what that episode topic should be. And in one of those revelations, what came in sitting with the Lord was the subject of today's episode. And the title of today's episode is to stop trying to live for God and not live with God. There's a difference in trying to striving. Striving is living for God, but clarity is living for God while living with God. You have to have that relationship. And those who are on the sovereign path, we don't seek position. We don't seek position. We don't go out looking to how can we please God. We steward where God places us, and that is what pleases God. We don't force opportunities. We don't chase validation. We don't go overboard trying to figure out how to help others and throw ourselves in situations. We don't even try to, what I call, figure life out. We simply remain in His presence, and we let the Lord lead us. There's a scripture that says, those that are led by God are the sons of God. So that's what abiding does. It teaches how to be led. And on that path of being led is where and when you will find rest. Now, rest doesn't mean you're going to be without trouble. Rest doesn't mean you're not going to run into hard times and circumstances. What rest means that is that you have given up self-government to be led by the sovereign one, the one true living God. You go where He tells you to go. You remain where He tells you to remain. And it's on that path, and only on that path, is you're going to find your rest, and you're going to find your freedom, and you're going to find your peace. It's when you're trying to go before God, no matter how good you think you are, no matter how good you think you're going to be, you're going to find that it always never seems to work out, because you're trying to live life without abiding. You're trying to live life for and not with God, and develop that deep communion in that relationship outside of abiding. And so today, that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to give you guys some insight to what that looked like for us. And my husband is going to start on when you're out here trying to figure life out and you feel like you're doing the right thing, but it never seems to work out. And how, when you start abiding and building a relationship with God, things then start making sense. So, honey, I'm going to turn it over to you. Mm-hmm. And I want you to talk to our viewers about your path and what it meant for you when you stopped trying to live for God, without God, and what lesson you learned along the way.
All right, well, you know how we go. My wife always starts this, but I have to stop and tell y'all, man, to like, subscribe, and share, please.
Thank you.
Like, subscribe, and share. Honestly, man, y'all know my wife has her style of the way she does it, and I have my style, but the path is clear for both of us. We're doing what we can for the kingdom, for what God is telling us to do. And for like what she's talking about, I've been through so much. I always have backstories. I like to give people stories, examples of what I've been through. And my family, I love my family. Like, I'm very big on my family, loyalty, whatever you want to call it. And this is when I've always called myself wanting to help my family and doing things, and but I get frustrated, be like, man, why every time I'm trying to help, it goes wrong, or it backfires on me, or it just never turns out. And I mean, multiple situations, and vice versa. There's been times to where family members been trying to help me, but it just, just seemed like it don't work out.
Right.
And it was because that wasn't what God wanted me to do.
No.
That's not what God, told me to do. That's what I wanted to do. That's what I felt like I had to do. And I used to drive myself crazy. I used to be
there.
I used to be so frustrated.
Yeah.
Because it's like all I want to do is help. And
run in circles.
It just never worked out. And then
it's not going to.
When what I like my new word, my thing I like to tell people, and I say now is selfish. People made selfish a bad word, but it's really not, man. Because I had to learn how to be selfish. You can't help nobody when you're not in a position, and you ain't even helped yourself. And so I just backed away from a lot of stuff, and I had to find my quiet place, and which mine has been walking. And when I walk, do my little exercise, told y'all that's when I commune with God.
Right.
And that's when I started hearing stuff louder and louder. It's like, and then when I started listening to that little voice in the back of my head that just kept pounding, that's when stuff started working for my
Right.
good
Right.
or changing for
Right.
the better. And that's how I started establishing and learning, like, okay, there's got to be God I'm listening to.
Right. Right.
Because everything started, like I say, getting better. Like you start getting the mental clarity,
Right.
you start seeing the picture evolve more. But more or less, you feel that weight that you carry, or like you feel heavy,
Mm-hmm.
starts getting
Starts
lighter.
getting lighter.
Yeah, stuff seems like it
Starts getting
start
lighter
dissipating. It seems like the air start getting clearer, like
and
you can
start getting
breathe
clear.
more. So it's like you can't always try to put yourself in. I always speak for me. I can't speak for everybody and what their position is. I just like for people to learn from what I've been through. Stop implementing yourself into other people's business, because that ain't what God told y'all. Knew what God taught you. You really, for people who's been in faith walking, been in ministry, been in churches, you can kind of tell the difference. Sometimes we just don't want to accept the difference, or we just don't want to accept what God telling us because we still want to be stubborn and thinking we still hold that so-called power that we don't.
Control. And one of the things he said, it's about you're trying, going back to, I said rest is the releasing of self-government. um Ephesians talks about putting on the whole armor of God,
The whole armor of the Lord.
the
Yeah.
whole armor of the Lord, not your armor. And Satan knows, for you, for those of us who think we're extra spiritual, who think we've got it all together, Satan knows every flaw and every piece of susceptibility in your armor. You cannot be a fruitful believer or a fruitful Christian without God. There is
Mm-hmm.
no way you're going to produce fruit without God. So out here trying to produce fruit, and Satan, what he does is when he knows you don't have a relationship with God and you're trying to be extra spiritual, he tends to bring you a lot of problems to make you exhausted. Because he knows everything he brings you, because you don't have a relationship with God, what you're going to assume is a default stance of, I must pick this up because I'm a believer. So you're going to pick up everything. So he's going to try to bring you everyone with the problems. He's going to try to bring you situations in your family, things that are connected to you, situations on your job. All of a sudden,
You're
everyone,
gonna be tested on what you're
he's going to
talking
be
about.
tested. He's going to test. He's going to test you on your relationship,
Yeah,
because he
on all
knows
that what you're talking
all that.
about,
Yeah, all that you're trying to do and all that you're trying to
you're gonna
carry.
be
He
tested.
knows that he's going to test you on it. If he can make you exhausted, and then all of a sudden you're wondering why things in your life are not working, why you're feeling burdened, why you're feeling heavy. You weren't supposed to pick those things up.
Mm-hmm.
You weren't supposed to pick those things up unless, like I said, you're not looking for position. You steward what the Lord placed. The first thing you do in everything that comes before you, regardless of who it is to seek Lord in your prayer closet and wait.
Yeah, we gotta
Sometimes
learn to
the
be
Lord is,
patient.
you have to be patient. Sometimes the Lord is going to tell you just to pray over that situation. Sometimes the Lord will tell you to go forward and uh to do pay alms or to give them a word. He may have you send and give it a word. He may ask you to contribute and relieve some of that burden for you. But the point is, you're not moving unless the Lord tells you to move, and you move in the way that the Lord tells you to move. But the reason a lot of us don't want to do that, one, is because we don't want to take the time to sit and be still and cultivate a relationship with God. We don't want to commit and make that time in our prayer closet and in our home, and to develop that relationship and sing with the Lord and His Word and developing that ear to hear him. And two, a lot of us got an issue with control.
Yeah, we don't want to let it go.
A lot of us got an issue with
And
control
honestly, a
where
lot of
we
us are lazy because we don't want to put in the work. Like I'm gonna be like when I was in the world, when I was out there, everybody know I dance. Everybody know that. But y'all, what you don't understand is the only way I got good at dancing, I had to keep putting in the work.
just for
And
anything, you got to cultivate it.
yeah, and it's the same
Mm-hmm.
thing with God, man. You can't just claim God and not put in a daily walk or effort or foot forward.
You have to
Like
learn to abide.
I've been in church just like you, like all the life since younger. But that's my parents and my grandparents making me go and
Right.
what they wanted me
Right.
until I
It's a
started
lot deeper
accepting.
than that. It's a
Yeah,
lot deeper than
I
that with the
had to accept
sovereign
the
with
Lord
God.
for myself,
Mm-hmm.
and I had to start hearing the Lord for myself. But
That's
I
right.
also like don't think this thing happened overnight, man.
No,
This is a walk.
it's a
This is a
walk.
testimony. This is trials, tribulations. You got to put your hand to the plow. Like we literally put in the work, and that's why we're at where we at. But we still got a long way to go. Stop looking at what others got. Just if you spend more time looking at yourself, listening to God, and putting in the work for yourself for God, imagine how much further you'll be. Think about the time that you even like looking at somebody else, and when you get, because I don't have these thoughts come in my head like, well, why God blessing them? Or I'm so focused on them. I could have been taking that time to be like, what can I do different? It's that simple sometimes.
And ask God.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just that
And
simple,
you
and you
ask
got to put in the
God.
work,
You just got to
man.
put it right and ask God. I remember having a conversation with the Lord. There was a situation that I had put myself in, and by the world's standard, in helping that person, you, you guys, and the average person would have praised me. Oh, Rebecca, you you have a good heart. Oh, Rebecca, the Lord is going to bless you. Oh, Rebecca, you know you really you care that you help that person in their time of need. And the the fruit from that situation, the fruit from me exerting what most people would told me was being a good person, did not produce good fruit for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, wait a minute, Lord, I did this for this, I did this. And I went in my prayer closet crying, trying to figure out to the Lord, you know, well, Lord, what's going on? Is it I just need to wait, or because they say they that wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. So I know all kind of scriptures. I'm doing good, so God's gonna make a way because I'm doing good. It was clear as day in my prayer closet. The Lord said, "I didn't tell you to do that." I was like, "See," He was like, "You got in the way." I actually got in the way of that person's divine consequence. I actually got in the way of that person's divine consequence. The Lord was using that season as a lesson for that individual. And I stepped in the way thinking that okay, I was supposed to be their deliverer. And I wasn't. And I learned a lot from that lesson. And that situation um had put me in a financial burden for a time, and because of that person's brokenness, it invited a lot of chaos and confusion in my home and in my family and in our relationship that I could have avoided. And all the Lord had really assigned me to do in that situation is pray for their strength and back them up in prayer during that lesson, that season in their life. But it's because I didn't listen and I didn't seek God that I ended up bringing peace. The peace left my home. Peace left my home.
That's what we got to be careful of. Sometimes we mean well and we're trying to help, But sometimes you can bring negativity to yourself, call yourself trying to do good. You have to be very patient. And I'm saying this from experience, speaking of myself. You have to learn patience, and you got to really develop to learn the difference between hearing from the Lord and allowing your flesh.
Allowing your emotions.
Like, it is really detrimental to learn the difference of the
Yeah.
voices that you
Yeah, the
hear.
voices that you hear.
And for me, because I don't know what everybody has going. I can't tell you what to do in your life. I am just telling you what worked for me in my situations. And I learned the difference because it felt different for me. Like,
It's peace.
when I did something that the Lord didn't give me the assignment to do, or it wasn't, or I didn't
Right.
wait or confirm, or go talk to the
Right.
Lord,
Right.
it just felt something about it just didn't feel right. You know what I'm saying? Just like you didn't feel like you completed it, or even if it turned out right or something, it still was like something just didn't
You're out of
feel
order.
right. It just don't feel right. And when I started doing stuff that I felt that the Lord was telling me to do, it didn't matter how it turned out. I felt complete.
You felt peace.
Like it's like sovereignty came over me. Peace
It's peace and
is
freedom. It's
like
peace.
it's a difference, and you
If
got to recognize the difference
yeah,
for your situation.
if you are, there's a consistent, when you are aligned with God and you can hear God, no matter the circumstance and how difficult it may be, when you choose the make the choices and you are obedience to God, there is a peace within you that you can't explain. There's a peace. There can be peace be still. Jesus in the boat with the disciples, with everything, with the storm going around and the boat shifting, you still feel that you are at peace when you're walking in alignment with the order that God has placed on you. You will have peace in the midst of the storm. You will have peace in the midst of the storm if you are in alignment with the Lord's will for your life. If you're living for God, with God. And there's many of you right now that I know this message was for. There's many of you who are uh, friends of ours, who are family members of ours, whom you call us and you talk to me and Kelly, and you have hearts and compassion, which is God. God loves his people. You have hearts and compassion for people, and you keep putting yourself out there over and over and over again, and you keep coming back to us and saying, why don't I have peace? Why don't I have peace?
Can I tell them? Because you don't choose to. You ain't lining up with God. You keep fooling up with that stuff. You keep allowing that, whatever it is that you know you shouldn't be dealing
It's
with.
a pattern.
That's it. And you got to, and it's called accountability.
It's a
And it's
pattern.
not to knock nobody. What I'm saying is take accountability for yourself. Because I had to self check myself, and God confirmed, like, okay, now you can hear me
Mm-hmm.
because you got yourself out the way of yourself.
Surrender.
Yeah, man, you got to stop being stubborn, being whatever it is, prideful, whatever words, man, and take accountability for your own actions.
David had the heart of God. In Psalms, that David had the heart of God. And the heart of God is a broken and contrite spirit. The heart of God is a repentant spirit. Those who are closer to God take accountability and and know, okay, this it's okay to say, Lord, I am not where I need to be, but help me become what you want me to be. That is where the potter can get you on the wheel and mold you in alignment with his issue to his image, when you can sit back and be okay with your brokenness and give it to the Lord, and he'll pick it right up. Now you're going to have to face some things you might not want to face, that and a lot of us like to run from the darkness within ourselves. a lot of us, the minute the Lord starts trying to show you the dark places, what I did, and I find that a lot of believers do, they try to shift their mind off of it. They go watch TV. They're stay busy. Um, they'll go find something. They'll go do something in the church rather than sit with the Lord because they don't want to see that dark stuff within them. But you got to see it. You
You
got
gotta
to
face
expose it.
yourself.
You got to face yourself.
You have to,
You
man. It's hard.
got to face
Yeah,
yourself.
it's scary. Yeah, it's a little nerve wracking, but it's called accountability. What's up? I ain't perfect, though. Like, and everybody, so that's the problem. We are scared to admit that we made a mistake. It's just a mistake. I just don't try to make them no more. You know what I mean? It's okay. What you done in the past is just that. It's in the past. As long as we not trying to repeat it. That's all. I know a lot of y'all know me and see this, and y'all know where I come from. Y'all, and the thing is, the good thing is, only thing you can say is what I used to do, not what I do now or who I am. That's what I used to be and what I used to do, and that's how you know that God is. I'm aligned with what God is telling me because it shows in my fruit. And we're not talking about financially. We're talking about spiritually, mentally, physically. Like I am in a better place. I'm happy. My wife is happy. My kids are happy. It shows every day. Every day is not perfect, but it's better than the last. And when you get yourself aligned, I'm telling you, stop focusing on everybody else, focus on yourself. Because all I focus on is my wife and my kids. And for some reason, I start seeing change within a lot of other people.
And one day, and we're gonna start by closing this out. And he's my husband's focus is on his wife and his kids, and that's his priorities over everything. He puts nothing before us, and you know what? He told me maybe about 2 years ago, when we were going through a rough patch, when we were going through a rough patch in our marriage, and we were trying to, we were running in circles with each other. And when he finally got into the quiet place with the Lord, he said the Lord told him assignment. He said, "You're only you're only the assignment I've given you is your wife and your kids." And he took that assignment, that placement from the Lord, and he told ever since then, like he spoke to, our marriage has gotten better. He's gotten more peaceful because everything else he was trying to manage that was outside of his wife and his kids, he at first I thought he was being, I was like, oh Lord, he cut off, he dropped them. He was like, nope, the Lord told me to focus on my wife and my kids. His mental got better, our marriage got better, our kids are thriving. Our youngest was having trouble in school. That has turned around. He's at the top of his class right now, doing great, doing great. Our oldest son, who has some social anxiety issues, that started falling off because he started focusing more time with him, and our family started growing and prospering when he got in alignment to the will of what the Lord told him to steward. For me, um, there was a lot of noise. There was a lot of things I was carrying in my family and with my friends and their problems. And during that time when we were having problems, and I was like, well, Lord, what does He want from me? What does He need to do? And for my assignment says, I've given you as His helpmate. What I need you to do is help him, and I need you to love him. You have the capacity to, Rebecca, because I was loving everybody else, and I was putting my love in places because I have a pure heart. I love purely. I'm very loyal. But he was like, I need the focus of your love to be Kelly, because that's what I need you to do is show him and love him. And that's what I did. And peace entered our marriage, unity entered our marriage because we listened and obeyed God and stopped placing ourselves in environments and in soils He had not assigned us. If you want to live in sovereignty, if you want to find your rest, you're going to have to learn to abide in His presence and let the Spirit of the Lord lead you. And you're going to have to learn to let go of those places He did not assign you, even if they're close to your heart.
Ooh, and just because just when
We're
she
going to let Him
said
close
that,
this out.
okay, I'll close it out. But listen, when she said that, understand, because I don't deal with you or talk to you on a regular or see you, that don't mean I don't love you. It's just what God has us doing. We got to stop taking, if people, because people are working on themselves, don't take it personal. If you take it personal in a negative way, you got a lot more work you need to do with yourself. I love everybody in my family. I got some cousins. Man, all I do is see them on Facebook come together, sisters and brothers. They travel together, they celebrate each other, and I root them on because that's their happiness. That's for them. They are much better. Don't think because people go another direction don't mean they don't
That's
love
right.
you or they
That's right.
hate and or they dis. No, man. Everybody got a different path. Find yours and root for somebody,
Amen.
man.
Amen.
And once again, like, subscribe, and share. Our content. I'm not going to stop saying that, but
Thank you. Yes.
God has brought us together to do this. We have come here to just share our story, not to tell you how to live your life, but just letting you understand a glimpse of what we go through and
Right.
why we are what we are and why we act the way we act. That's it. We're just testimonials. Live your life for what you need to live it for. All we telling you, if you add God, putting Him first and
In
putting yourself
everything.
second, and just focus on what God telling you to do, man, listen, you'll find that same happiness, whether it's with a person, without a person, with just by yourself, that job you was looking for, your blessings will come. Put in the work, put God first, man. And stay tuned to the Sovereign Path. We have more. We're going to listen. If you have a testimony and you think you would like to be a guest of our show, reach out to my wife. Don't reach out to me. She handles she gonna handle all that. I'm putting
I'll
that
handle
in
it.
her wheelhouse. That ain't mine for me. But we don't want this to just to be about me and her. The sovereign path is for everyone who is trying to build and bring things to the kingdom. We're kingdom faith believers. Everybody has different ways, a different style. Long as it's God, long as it's of God, we here. So if you think you want to be a part of this, reach out to my wife, not me. Reach out to my wife. She handles that. I will not get in no trouble. But we're gonna have different guests on. It may take a little second because sometimes we might be here at this location or we might be at another location. We have to do editing, but be patient. But we are going to bring different perspectives, not just
Yeah, and
husband and wives.
there's a couple of you who've already
Reached out.
reached out who want to do an episode with us, and we feel so grateful and so blessed that you want to be a part of the Sovereign Path family. And so I'm going to close it out
Oh,
with the
don't
Sovereign
forget.
Prayer. Yes, babe.
Don't forget. This is brought to you by
This
Bentley
is brought to
Business.
you by
Go ahead. Bentley
Bentley
Business
Business
Conglomerate.
Conglomerate,
BBC
BBC
LLC.
LLC.
Go ahead.
All
What
right.
you
So
know?
the prayer of sovereignty. This is what I call the prayer of sovereignty. Whenever I'm in hard times or whenever I feel my moments of being overwhelmed, this prayer grounds me in my quiet time with the Lord. I can say it at work. I can say it in my car. I can say it in the retail store. I can say it at any time I need it. I have my joy. I have my peace. I have my health. I have my provision. I have everything I need in this moment because in every moment I have God. Simple prayer, simple way to ground you. So I'm going to close that by saying, stay blessed and may there be peace on your path. Good evening.
Amen.